Picture this. You wake up in Florence, Italy, step onto your hotel balcony and whisper, "Good morning, sunshine," to the golden rays illuminating the Duomo's magnificent dome. But what if I told you that the Florence most tourists see is just the surface? Today, I'm taking you beyond the crowded Ponte Vecchio and into the hidden corners where true Florentine magic lives and breathes. Florence isn't just a city, it's a living masterpiece, where every cobblestone tells a story, where Renaissance genius still echoes through narrow alleyways, and where your destiny as a traveler transforms from tourist to explorer. I've spent months uncovering the secrets locals guard jealously, and I'm about to share discoveries that will change how you experience the birthplace of the Renaissance forever. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Florence's relationship with coffee goes far deeper than you'd imagine. While Rome claims espresso culture, Florence perfected the art of the morning ritual. Hidden in the Oltrarno district, you'll find Ditta Artigianale, a charming roastery tucked away on Via dello Sprone. This isn't your typical Italian bar, it's where coffee becomes poetry. The owner, Francesco, inherited recipes from his grandfather who opened the original shop in 1953. What makes this place extraordinary isn't just the perfectly pulled shots, but the ritual itself. Locals gather here at dawn, sharing stories over tiny porcelain cups, creating a community that tourists rushing between monuments never witness. The desire to belong to something authentic draws me back every morning when I'm in Florence. But coffee culture reveals something deeper about Florentine character. Their genius lies not in grand gestures, but in perfecting life's small moments. This philosophy extends throughout the city's hidden treasures, each offering a step up from typical tourist experiences. The Oltrarno neighborhood itself deserves your attention beyond that single coffee shop. Cross the Arno River, and you'll discover artisan workshops that have operated continuously since the Renaissance. These aren't museum pieces, they're living studios where craftsmen still create using techniques Michelangelo himself might recognize. Visit the workshop of Giuliano Ricci on Via Santo Spirito, where he crafts leather goods using methods passed down through 5 generations. The scent of leather mingles with aged wood as Giuliano works, his hands moving with practiced precision. He speaks little English, but his smile communicates volumes about pride in craft. This represents the true spirit of Florence, not the mass-produced souvenirs sold near the Duomo, but authentic artistry that connects past and present. The charming Palazzo Pitti gardens hide another secret most visitors miss entirely. While crowds flock to the Boboli Gardens' main entrance, a small gate on the eastern side leads to the rarely visited Bardini Gardens. These terraced gardens offer the same stunning views of Florence, but with a fraction of the crowds. More importantly, the Bardini Gardens house the Villa Bardini, which regularly hosts rotating art exhibitions featuring contemporary Italian artists. During my last visit, I discovered works by emerging Florentine painters whose modern interpretations of Renaissance themes created fascinating dialogues between centuries. The juxtaposition of cutting-edge art against the backdrop of Renaissance architecture perfectly captures Florence's living, breathing culture. Speaking of hidden artistic treasures, the Brancacci Chapel in Santa Maria del Carmine. Church houses some of the most important frescoes in Western art history. While tourists crowd the Sistine Chapel replica at the Accademia, these Masaccio masterpieces remain relatively undiscovered. The chapel's intimate size means only small groups can enter at a time, creating an almost private viewing experience with works that influenced every major Renaissance artist. The genius of these frescoes lies in their revolutionary use of perspective and human emotion. Masaccio painted real people with real feelings, a radical departure from the stylized religious art of his time. Standing inches from these works, you can see individual brushstrokes that changed art history forever. But Florence's hidden gems extend beyond art into culinary territory that most visitors never explore. The San Lorenzo Market's ground floor attracts tourists with typical Italian fare, but the real treasures hide upstairs in the permanent vendors' stalls. Here, Third-generation merchants sell ingredients locals use daily: wild boar salami, aged pecorino from specific Tuscan farms, and olive oils pressed from single estates. Maria Grazia, who runs a small spice stall on the market's upper level, introduced me to medieval spice blends still used in traditional Florentine cooking. Her saffron comes directly from Abruzzo farmers she's known for decades, and her fennel pollen, a crucial ingredient in authentic Tuscan cuisine, arrives weekly from the Maremma region. This direct connection between producer and consumer represents Florence's commitment to maintaining culinary traditions. The desire to understand food culture led me to discover cooking classes in private homes rather than commercial kitchens. Through word-of-mouth connections, I found Nonna Elisabetta, who opens her centuries-old apartment near Santo Spirito to teach traditional Tuscan cooking. Her kitchen hasn't changed much since the 1940s, and her methods reflect generations of refinement. Learning to make pici pasta by hand while Nonna Elisabetta shares stories about surviving World War II creates connections impossible in typical tourist experiences. She speaks about rationing, creativity with limited ingredients, and how food became a form of resistance against occupation. These stories transform simple pasta making into cultural transmission. Florence's bookshops reveal another layer of hidden culture. While tourists photograph the exterior of the historic Libreria Antiquaria Gonelli, few venture inside to discover its rare manuscript collection. This shop, operating since 1875, houses original correspondence from Renaissance artists, first edition Dante texts, and illuminated manuscripts that survived centuries. The current owner, Roberto, inherited not just a business but a responsibility to preserve literary heritage. He showed me a letter Michelangelo wrote to his nephew, complaining about payment delays for Sistine Chapel work. These intimate glimpses into artistic genius transform historical figures from marble statues into human beings with relatable frustrations. The charming neighborhood of San Nicolo offers perhaps the most authentic Florentine experience available today. This area, protected from major development, maintains the intimate scale of medieval Florence. Narrow streets wind between buildings that housed artisans 500 years ago and still do today. The Torre San Nicolo, one of the few remaining medieval towers, provides panoramic city views without Piazzale Michelangelo's crowds. Climbing the steep stone steps becomes a journey through time, with each level revealing different architectural details. From the tower's top, Florence spreads below like a Renaissance painting come to life. Local Osteria Il Santo Bevitore, hidden in San Nicolo's winding streets, represents everything wonderful about Florentine dining culture. The menu changes daily based on seasonal ingredients. The wine list features small Tuscan producers, and the atmosphere encourages lingering conversations. This isn't just dinner. It's cultural immersion. The servers know regular customers' preferences, visitors become temporary community members, and every meal feels like discovery. This represents the genius of Florentine hospitality, making strangers feel welcomed while maintaining authentic local character. But perhaps Florence's greatest hidden gem is its relationship with time itself. While other cities rush toward modernity, Florence maintains a rhythm that honors both past and present. Morning markets operate as they have for centuries. Artisans work at human pace rather than industrial speed, and conversations prioritize connection over efficiency. This temporal philosophy creates space for authentic experiences unavailable in faster-paced destinations. You can spend entire afternoons watching craftsmen work, join spontaneous conversations with locals, and discover that true travel happens when you synchronize with local rhythms rather than imposing external schedules. Your destiny as a Florence visitor depends entirely on your willingness to step beyond obvious attractions. The city rewards curiosity, patience, and genuine interest in local culture. Every hidden alley potentially leads to discovery. Every conversation might reveal secret locations, and every day offers opportunities for authentic connection. The charming truth about Florence is that its greatest treasures remain accessible to anyone willing to look beyond surface attractions. These experiences don't require special access or significant expense, just desire to engage authentically with living culture. So tomorrow morning, when you whisper "Good morning, sunshine" to another beautiful day, remember that Florence offers two completely different experiences. You can follow crowds between monuments, or you can discover the hidden city where Renaissance genius continues inspiring contemporary life. If this journey through Florence's hidden gems sparked your desire to discover more magical destinations around the world, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We're constantly uncovering secret spots and authentic experiences that transform ordinary trips into extraordinary adventures. Your next discovery is just one click away.